Subscribe or you'll be visited by the toll troll. Is it smarter to rent or buy? The reason why this debate rages on and will always rage on is because both renting and buying are about the same. Because renting and buying are lifestyle decisions, not really strictly financial ones. I'm a single man with no children. I don't want or need a house, and I do make more money investing the currency. If I was a married man with children, I would certainly want and need a house, and the money wouldn't matter. Yeah, but most people aren't gonna earn like the heck-in Oracle of Omaha legendary trader and buy in Nebraska. Some people might be middle class and get lucky on a home purchase in Santa Barbara or some shite like that. Apples to oranges. When Warren bought his bags it was almost close to the bottom, and I share his pain because had I not bought a brand new Civic during 2020 I would be far better off now from my gains in 2021 and 2024 compounded. It can be better, strictly financially, to rent. It can also be better, strictly financially, to own. It depends on all sorts of variables and market details. You have to crunch the numbers to find out. In general, you should try and save money monthly when owning compared to renting. If rent would be $2,000 per month for a comparable apartment, then your mortgage plus insurance plus property tax should be $1.8 thousand per month to make it worth it to own. The reason for this is because the renter can put the entire down payment into the market, or crypto or whatever investment you prefer, right now, whereas the owner locks it into an asset that grows much slower than alternatives. Even in crazy years like 2022 and 2023, stocks far outperformed house price growth. 2024 had almost no housing price growth, believe it or not, so the owner needs to save money every month to put into these investments to try and counterbalance the growth of the renter's initial investment. I pay $800 per month including all utilities. It depends. I'm getting my dad's house after he dies and he still owes 9 years on the mortgage. It would have been paid off by now if I still lived there, but he drinks and smokes way too much and he doesn't clean up after himself. It's too bad, because I like the house and plan on living there my entire life anyways. It could have had a new roof, furnished basement, a new deck, etc., if I still lived there. But the stress of living with him was too much. It's both of our losses, but it's his fault. Now I live in an apartment with my mom. I pay 3 of the rent, the electricity, the cable and the insurance bills. She pays 1/4 of the rent, plus buys all of the groceries, cooks, cleans, does the dishes, does the laundry and even packs my lunch for work. It's a mutually beneficial deal and I'm lucky to be in the situation I'm in where I get along with both of my parents. On my own this apartment would heckin' suck. It doesn't even have a dishwasher and the laundry is communal. It's old as heck and I constantly hear the neighbors below me boinking, while the neighbors beside me are always screaming at their kids. I'm only dealing with it because it's fairly cheap. A 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom is $885 per month. The nearest minor city, 2 bedrooms are like $1,400 plus. And buying a house now, even with 20% down in my town will still lead to a $2,000 plus per month mortgage. It's different in every region. But I can assume a lot of unknowns know what I'm talking about. It's smarter to rent, you know. But when it comes to crypto, buy the hell in and play to earn like boinkers. It's smarter to buy and I'm targeting to buy more of SUI. Is it potentially smarter/better to buy with cash, no mortgage/interest? I have about $400K and I want to buy a $200K home and keep the rest invested. I will also get a few hundred more thousand within a year or two. Buy house? I am a single dad and want more kids. I'm thinking buy. I run a business that needs to lease warehouse-style space, since I don't have space at home, and I also currently rent a place to live for myself. I was thinking I should probably buy a house with either a large enough shop or space to build one, so I can essentially lease space to my own business, and build equity rather than rent. I found PickRel and love it, but it's going for $550,000 and I only have $300,000. I was hoping to not have to mortgage anything cause the interest seems really lame, and even with $300,000 down my estimated monthly payment is still $2,200. I understand there's an opportunity cost to putting it all down rather than keeping the rest in the market, but the difference between $2,200 per month, estimate if putting 55% or $300,000 down, and $3,400 per month, 10% down, is a lot for me. I don't think a bank would approve a mortgage with such a high monthly payment for me, and I'd be too stressed about making ends meet every month if my rent was that high. If I bought it I could rent a room or two and save business rent, so it'd in effect lower the $2,200 to $200, if I had one roommate and also sublease to my business. I also work full-time, so between business and job and big down payment the banks might approve. No idea how to move this sort of thing forward though. Since this is like my dream home, should I be full sprinting towards closing on this? I have some open positions in the market that might pop this month, so I kinda wanna wait it out and see if I can come up with the full $550,000, but I don't want anyone else to buy the house either. But it's been on the market for almost 3 months already. If you go this route, make 100% certain you can actually run the business out of that home before you buy. Most cities will explicitly prevent this in their zoning laws, and you'd be up shite creek without a paddle if you bought and learned a year later that can't use the property that way. I also would encourage putting down only 20% and just keeping the remainder in new investments. Interest rates are around 6.5% to 7%, 6% if you're lucky and have good credit. If you can get better returns on investments, then your money is better served in investments. If you need to, you can claim the investment income as part of your income to help convince the bank to approve the loan. It depends on how smart you are. A domicile or home, place where you live, is not an investment. It's a utility. A house you rent to other people can be an asset if everything goes well, or a liability if you rent to the wrong people. But the only smarter thing I know is buying tribal token right now. Buying is smarter in most places if you know you want to stay there for a long time. You will save a lot when you have paid house, so you can invest that. Hate this boomer so much. Renting is better. When you buy a house, you buy a lifestyle, not an investment. A house is a massive liability. Buying is better. Don't risk your life savings on investments. You could lose all of it. Once your house is fully paid off, you have your whole life to invest. For instance, if you invest X amount per month for 50 years, you will comfortably retire with peace of mind. Nobody question how the son of Congressman can buy a house at the teen age of 28, possibly with cash. He is privileged in all area. Bought. With cash? Also, I feel like telling a lucky 28-year-old who has $260,000 saved up to buy a house with that cash is malicious. Also, had I rented? He lived in a 90% white country post-World War II when rent was 1/5 the cost of a mortgage. He's 99 years old. He's so old, your average fat 65-year-old boomer crying about how Gen Z doesn't want to die fighting for Israel thinks that Buffett is an out-of-touch old man for telling them to put more away for retirement and retire later to make it last longer. He is quite an older man, literally out of touch for old people who are totally out of touch, people who would literally be in his daughter's generation. There is no reason to listen to him. Instead, following his trades and selling into cash to avoid the crash. It's time to accept if you're a millennial who didn't buy Bitcoin in 2014, you're just screwed forever without going beans and rice and putting everything from your 3 jobs into Bitcoin at the pico bottom in every bear market for 10 years. Rent and Bitcoin max. He sound like my wife tell me not to invest crypto right now. OMG, why this beggar is so annoying. He basically living life on welfare, never once work hard in life. Why he didn't go homeless is another story. Get tired of sharing walls with people. Look into buying a house. There's a down payment program. $0 down with forgivable loan, 3%, after 3 years. Find $325,000 house, $75,000 salary. 33% of gross income. Renters, you will be house poor, you are overpaying, that's more than rent, the maintenance. Realize they're just coping because they have student/car/credit card debt and I don't. Buy house. No longer share walls, have my own pool. Refinance in 2021 at 2.5% for 30 years. Home is now worth $550K. Made $225,000 equity in 6 years with no investment. My payment is cheaper than their rent on their 1-bedroom apartment. The direct opposite of whatever Warren Child Buffet says is true.